You walk into a room and instantly feel the air shift. No one is shouting. There is no drama. Yet your brain has already scanned the entire space. An avoided glance, a forced, tight smile, a sentence that sounds perfectly normal but bleeds a strange, synthetic energy. Did you just imagine that? People call this observation a gift, a superpower. But you know the truth. It is a psychological trap. Your mind has no off switch. You cannot just exist in the moment. You have to take it home, tear it apart, and replay it in the dark until it distorts. You can turn a single, heavy silence into an entire universe of self-doubt. They are pulling away. I know they are. It is an exhausting way to live. This hyper-awareness isn't just about being smart. It is about being cursed to see the hidden layers of meaning that everyone else walks right past without a second thought. It is a brutal burden that slowly, quietly, hollows you out from the inside. To stop your own mind from swallowing you whole, you have to understand where this relentless radar actually comes from. For some, this suffocating sensitivity is just wired into their DNA. Biology labels them highly sensitive persons, individuals whose nervous systems act like an ultrafine filter, absorbing the world in an overwhelming, high-resolution intensity. But for so many others, this awareness was never a birthright. It was an inheritance of survival. Neuroscience calls it hypervigilance. It is a defense mechanism born in the unstable trenches of a chaotic childhood. Picture a kid growing up in a house where the emotional weather changes in a heartbeat. You couldn't afford to be innocent. You had to become a radar station, walking on eggshells, holding your breath. You learned to memorize the exact crunch of car tires on the driveway, just to guess if a parent was coming home drunk or sober. You measured the anger of a slammed kitchen cabinet. You knew the precise second to step into the light and smile, or fade into the corner like a ghost. Your amygdala, the brain's panic button, was stuck in the on position. It recorded a permanent, haunting message. This place is not safe. Keep scanning. No one taught you how to do this. Your nervous system simply built a map of neurons to predict emotional disasters before they hit. Over time, that survival instinct fused into your very skin. Now, as an adult, you look in the mirror and blame yourself. Why do I overthink everything? What is wrong with me? But you aren't broken. You are just carrying a shield that was forged in a fire you were never supposed to walk through. And when you carry that shield into adult life, it manifests as a constant, draining analysis mode. For a normal person, a text is just a text. For you, it is an equation to solve. Your boss messages you at 4 p.m. Come see me before you leave. Anyone else just walks down the hall. You? Your throat goes dry, cold sweat. A wave of dread hits your chest. You sense an invisible coldness in the wording. Is it over? Did I ruin everything? You do not just hear words. You notice the 3-second delay before someone compliments your outfit. You catch the microscopic hitch in their breathing. Your brain's default mode network, the system meant for resting and daydreaming, is stuck on a treadmill. Half of you is nodding, holding a coffee and playing the part of a normal human being, while the other half is frantic, taking notes and calculating risks. You are exhausted by noon because your mind just ran a quiet, invisible marathon. Eventually, that analytical camera turns inward, morphing into a paralyzing hyper-self-awareness. Your metacognition, the ability to think about your own thoughts, becomes a tyrant. You don't just feel sad. You cross your arms and interrogate the sadness. Why am I down? My life is fine. I have a job. I'm so ungrateful. Why can't I just be happy? You punish yourself for hurting. Even joy gets dissected. You laugh at a dinner party, and a split second later, a detached version of you floats to the ceiling, looking down with judgment. Was that laugh too loud? Did I sound fake? It is like trying to dance while staring intensely at your reflection in a glass window to correct your posture. You might not miss a single step, but you have completely lost the music. You are no longer truly there. This hyper-awareness kills your innocence in relationships. You start seeing the messy backstage of human behavior. You see a coworker bring you a coffee and praise your work, but instead of enjoying it, your mind immediately interrogates their motives. What do they want from me? Are they using me? You learn too early that kindness can be a transaction, that affection can be a calculated investment, and that a partner's confidence is often just a mask, hiding a desperate fear of rejection. It is a quiet, devastating kind of loss. You lose the ability to trust the surface of anything. A compliment feels heavy with conditions. An apology feels incomplete, just a quick tool to quiet the room rather than genuine remorse. A promise feels like glass about to break. You don't become bitter or hateful. You just become deeply, profoundly cautious. You end up feeling utterly alone in a crowded room because nobody else sees the hidden truths that are paralyzing you. And those truths aren't just thoughts. They sink straight into your physical body as an empathy that cannot be switched off. You walk into an office and instantly absorb the unspoken, suffocating friction between two people. Your mind acts like a sponge. It moves past understanding into emotional absorption. You take on their pain as if it belongs to you. Your mirror neurons fire wildly, mimicking the stress of everyone around you. Someone on the subway nervously taps their foot, and suddenly your own heart is hammering against your ribs. A friend vents about a divorce, and you carry that heavy, suffocating ache in your chest for 3 whole days. You become the unpaid emotional regulator for everyone in your life, softening your voice, fixing the vibe, making sure everyone is okay. People love being around you because they feel seen. But you are running on empty. You are a repository for their discarded trauma. And no one stops to ask if the person saving everyone else needs saving too. This trapped emotional weight inevitably triggers a brutal physical anxiety loop. Your interoception, your brain's ability to read your own body, is dialed to an extreme. You drink an espresso, your heart rate spikes slightly from the caffeine, and your nervous system panics. Fast heart rate means danger. I can't breathe. Am I losing control? Normal physical sensations become emergency alerts. The loop tightens. A sensation appears. The brain misinterprets it as an existential threat. Cortisol floods your system, and your body reacts with even more terrifying symptoms. Your life becomes a constant stream of false alarms. You feel a persistent, ambient dread all day long, even when the sky is completely blue and nothing is wrong. To cope with this overwhelm, your awareness tries to transform into a strategy of absolute control. It is not about dominating others. It is a desperate inner armor. You tell yourself a lie. If I can predict every single terrible outcome, I won't be blindsided by the pain. You run endless simulations in the back of your mind. What if they leave me tomorrow? What if everything I built falls apart? How do I react so I don't collapse? You get trapped in an agonizing analysis paralysis, living out 10 different worst-case futures while completely abandoning the present moment. In trying to stay ahead of the grief, you slowly step outside your own life. You stop participating in the beautiful, messy uncertainty of being alive and start managing your existence like a failing corporate project. Protection replaces presence, and you end up exhausted from fighting ghosts that haven't even shown up yet. But you cannot just turn off your eyes. You cannot force a sharp mind to see the world in a blur. The solution is not to see less. It is to stop carrying everything you see. You have to learn how to notice things without absorbing them into your blood. It starts with a simple truth. Not every silence is an indictment. If someone responds late, they might just be tired. If a colleague doesn't smile, they might just have a headache. It is not always about you. Secondly, not every emotion requires a trial. When anxiety knocks on your door, you don't have to invite it in and analyze its family tree. You can just say, "My heart is beating fast. It's just a physical feeling," and let it pass through you. And finally, just because you see someone's brokenness doesn't mean you are obligated to fix it. You can see their insecurity without becoming their therapist. You can notice a fracture in a relationship and choose to quietly step back. Clarity is only a gift when it has boundaries, when you know what belongs to you and what belongs to the world. When you practice this letting go, your awareness doesn't disappear. It softens. It matures. You still see the depth, the flaws, and the cracks in human nature, but you no longer feel the need to bleed for them. You can feel the heavy current of a room and choose to stand firmly on the shore. The light in your mind doesn't have to be a harsh, blinding laser that exposes every defect. It can become a warm, gentle candle, bright enough to understand how fragile we all are, yet soft enough to keep you warm. If you are the person who thinks too much, who feels too deeply, your quietness isn't indifference. It is a profound wisdom. The depth you carry is not a flaw. It is a beautiful gift waiting for your own compassion, if your mind is tired of its own noise. Take a breath. You can finally put the equations down.